Hey guys, it's Mark Lane. Hey, in this video we're going to shoot the number one mistake new rehabbers and investors make when getting into flipping houses. The number one mistake that we make is being too anxious to buy a house, too anxious to do the first deal. What happens is, we're all excited to go out and make a profit, and we end up pulling the trigger on a house that doesn't serve us, that doesn't set us up to make a really good profit and a quick sale. So if you don't mind panning over, we're going to actually talk about this house. This was my very first house that I ever bought. I bought this with a partner, and we bought this in 2010, I think it was, for roughly about $13,000. And later I ended up selling it off to my partner, as a rental property at the time. So I don't know whatever ended up happening with it. But in any market, in your market, in my market, there's a certain spec of houses that people are looking for, right? The neighborhoods change, all that kind of stuff. But people, we want to be looking at houses that serve the masses. So, that means getting into at least a C-quality neighborhood, having at least the necessary square footage, to fit a family in there, having at least, 2 to 3 bedrooms. So these different things make the house so much more sellable and more attractive when you're going to try to sell it. In this case, we had like 600 square feet. There was like 1.5 bedrooms. It was a slab. There was no basement. In my area, we need basements. And there was no garage. The furnace wasn't even a regular functional furnace. There was no way for, to get a washer dryer hookups in there. So it had almost everything going against it. Now, I say this, and I made this mistake, right? This is the first house I bought. I was super anxious, pulled the trigger, and then, thankfully I got out of it. But I could have been stuck. So you just want to, when you're in your market, the best thing you can do is drive your neighborhoods. Look for the neighborhoods that, are attracting decent families. Look for the neighborhoods that you want to spend your time in, that you want to invest in. Go to neighborhoods where most of the houses look nice and look, like people are taking care of them, but yet neighborhoods where you can find a few houses that are distressed that need some work. Those are the kind of neighborhoods where you make the most money, right? We want neighborhoods that have potential, but once we fix it up, it matches the neighborhood, right? We don't want to have the nicest house in the neighborhood, or excuse me, we don't want to have the worst house in the neighborhood. We don't want to have necessarily the most expensive house in the neighborhood. We like to have something kind of in the middle. But just be aware when you're starting out, don't be so overly anxious to where you pull the trigger on something that's going to come back to burn you. If you're patient enough to be out looking for quality houses that the masses are going to be attracted to, you're going to do fine.